לסנטים הבודדים שאדם דני דני לקורות אחד לפני, שניים לפני. זה אתה לטוב?
אתה יודע לחבר את אני אעדכן. אני רוצה לבקש ממנה שתדליק. אתה זוכר כבר איך מדליקים?
גורם בשלט.
מה?
גורם בשלט.
כן? הנה היא באה, אני שמע אותנו.
עכשיו שזה עובד?
אני עוד חשבתי שמזמן לא ראיתי אותך, מה קורה איתך?
היום במקרה הייתי עוד כמה שאתה אמרתי לו, אדם על הגיל היום. יש לך אוכל? זה לא המחשב הנכון. עכשיו נעים לי. מה? כל הבחורה. תשתי מים. מה? תשתי מים יש סאונד. יש לו גם וידאו.
יש פה סרטיים. הולך לדבר
בוא נראה. אבל צריך רגע להסיס את הפרנסס. גבן.
בינתיים מטרים את האנשים, זה לא מעניין.
גם יש לנו קצת יותר ארוך, הארוך של הגיל.
לא, לא, עושים בדיקת... תעמוד פה מזגן. Okay, everybody, let's start. Please go to דלת בבקשה. Hello everyone, good afternoon. Let's נסדר. אפשר לשים משהו שחור, זה אפשר לעניין. Okay, today we have, first we'll go over the board, then Shahar will explain about the new way to configure experiments for the client-side projects. And then Mishko will give us a presentation about Angular 2.0, which is just around the corner, and we have to start to get prepared to understand what it means. And also, Yugatula front-end is coming closed in June 8th, 9th. The guild has 10 tickets for the event, and the event is 2 days, so eventually I can send 20 developers. I've chosen 20 developers that contributed to these meetings and to the guild, and I will update them next week. I will have the developers that go, and this is it. Anything else? Shahar, start.
Okay. So today we'll go over the intro task, and also we will go over some of the to-do tasks and try to find new people that want to take tasks. Some of the to-do are already progress, I think, so maybe we will already assign people. Okay, risk file. Lucas is not here. So we have it with him. Home extension, Gabi. Gabi is there? No, Gabi. Okay, velocity engine instead of place. I talked with you today, and we have some fixes to do, but it's really close to opening. Angular CSRF, so I took this out of progress, and then I got it back to progress this week, because we deployed the dashboard with the CSRF. It currently has bugs that are from the framework team is working on it.
The bugs is on the server side?
Yeah, the server side. So the idea is that currently the CSRF protection, it reports the CSRF violations to new edit, but it doesn't block anything. And when the fish server will be on, then it will also block. So we have to get to a situation where the new relic is clean of errors, and only then we turn on the fish server. So currently we have a lot of errors in new relic, but they are not real errors because the client is behaving correctly and it says it's sending the CSRF token, but somehow the framework doesn't handle it correctly.
Can you explain in a word what is the CSRF? How does it work, the CSRF protection?
Yeah. Okay. So CSRF, the thing is that we want to prevent cases where someone is posting on behalf of the user without being inside the site. So, for example, if I have some delete method of a site, and let's say that it happens on post, so I can build some kind of form and auto submit it inside my site. And then, even though you are not in Wix and you didn't want this to happen, I posted the form and I deleted your site. So the way to protect against it is that we want to send some kind of token that verifies that the request happened from within Wix. It didn't happen from within another site. So what we actually do is that the server creates some cookie on the domain of Wix.com. And then when we send some request to Wix, whatever it is, we always send a header with the same values as the cookie. And this proves that the request came from someone who is able to read the cookies in Wix.com. So it must be inside Wix.com. And actually, the checking the server is really simple. All it does is just checking that the value of the header equals to the value of the cookie. And if they both exist and they both are equal, then everything is fine. So currently the server is having itself to compare those things.
Question? I didn't even ask it, it's so fun.
Sorry? No, I don't know. I got it.
But even without the CSRF, every request has the cookies delivered on every request, CSS, images, whatever. So, but now we are introducing a new key, a new header with an additional value outside of the cookie.
Yeah, it's a header, it's not a cookie.
It doesn't go on the cookie header.
Yeah, it's a different header, it's called X67 token, and the value of X equals to one of the cookies.
To one.
Okay? So the server just needs to check if the cookie value is the same as the header value, then the client must have been able to read the cookie.
So how long will this cookie can live?
They renew it from time to time, and they change the value so people can take it and stuff like that.
But if they renew it, so there might be some calls to the server that won't work if they're renewed.
No, because when you make the request, you check the cookie value right now.
Yeah,
this is the value that is going to go out in the request.
Yeah, I went to my account and I got a simple cookie. I worked for an hour, and in this hour they changed the cookie on the server. So I click now delete site, and it won't work.
The moment you click the delete, the request goes out. And when the request goes out, we check what is the cookie value at this moment, and this is the header value that you're going to send. Okay, so if we change the cookie value, then we're going to send a different header value.
No, but
There's no state on the server. The server doesn't need state. It just compares header to cookie.
Okay. So if you make some request and then the server said, oh, okay, it's time to change the token, and it will give you a new cookie, but this cookie is important only for the next operation.
yeah, so it's like for this session. If you start the session, you get a simple cookie, and then it can live forever in the same session.
It can live forever unless the server chooses to stick
Or
or change it to some operation.
Yeah, or you close the
So this is the standard system protection. It's actually part of Angular already. So Angular by default, if it has a cookie named XSRF token, it will send the other XSRF token. And since we chose to use this cookie name in the server, it means that in order to make it work, you don't need to change even one line of code. It just works because Angular has it by default. You do need to do some things in your server, but that's really easy. I will document it.
Strings.
Compare.
Something with strings.
Some? No, the string is in the framework. You just need to actually add some filter to the string. Okay, next thing, new value KPI service.
It's not part of the framework now? Or I just need to require
You need
annotation?
to require it into your app config, and then it's all. New value KPI services, just lines. Alone. Legalization? Yes, excellent.
Had a nice bonus today.
Sorry?
I had a nice bonus today. Only left is a pull request for weeks and that's it. Push back out to weeks time.
So, pull request network?
Hopefully.
We have two new tasks in progress.
Yeah. Let's go over the tasks, and then if something is in progress, then I will put in progress. Okay, so I'm going to skip all the stuff that I don't know a lot about. So let's talk about weak storage. Okay, so weak storage is a nice implementation we did to abstract the local storage and also abstract the remote storage, which is the user preferences server. So when you want to remember something, you have a first-time experience and the user closed it, and you want to be able to remember that you closed it and don't display it again, then you want to remember it somewhere. Okay? So you have two options. You can remember it in local storage, and you can remember it in the server that is dedicated for this purpose, user preferences. So currently the API is not complete. We are still it's still a work in progress, and we want to add the namespace to it. So this is an opportunity to also be familiar with this and maybe think of more important features we expect to it. Does someone need to want to take it? Namespace? Sergey? Sergey is the owner of the weak storage, so if you don't take it, he has to take it. Okay. And the
Okay, with Angular until June 8 is busy with Angular. Not Angular, with the conference.
I signed and we put it up in progress after the conference.
You have to sign on the drop down.
Okay.
Seriously, Mexico is more important than this? I don't agree.
And the next thing is a test kit for weak storage. So currently, we try to make a new standard when we develop the libraries. It's really important that when you develop a library, you give all the tools that people will need in order to test it. So currently, we wrote the weak storage library, and actually, it's really hard to test applications that are using it. So I think that even if you're not interested in weak storage, then you need to be interested in how to retest it, and I can guide you into what is needed or not. So, does anyone want to take it?
I mean,
Yes.
sign.
Sign. Nice.
This way.
So when you start working on tasks, please put them in progress so we can talk about them in the next. Okay, so Wildcat. This is actually something that changed in generators all over, and we didn't catch up. So currently, when we add some button point, we need to remember to add the include in this HTML. And Wildcat is a nice tool that you can actually see what are the button points you're using and add them automatically, and maybe ask you where to add them. So it's a really nice tool that we might want to use, maybe not. So the task is to understand what it is, if we want it, and if we do to do it.
Actually, I have a little bit of experience with that, and
Is that what it?
Yeah, it's not, it's annoying.
It's annoying.
Yeah,
Okay.
sometimes you work with it and it adds the bar component and it's not in the right order. And you always have to do something there. And my experience is.
You prefer to have manual?
Yeah, manual. That's my experience with that.
Okay.
Is it like an index VM? So you need to know which part. Right?
Yeah, maybe.
I
Maybe
don't know.
it can tell you. Maybe it can ask you, okay, I have this new bar component. Do you want to add it to this file or this file or whatever?
You also need to add an
It's good.
to
Not a lot
the.
of people are using it, so maybe.
You always have to add it to the column.
So
You always have to.
you need to cover if you're not mocking the library. Okay, so let's put it. Let's ignore it for now, and maybe I'll get into it and see if it's important. Okay, this is a really interesting task. End-to-end tests. So currently we don't have coverage reports for them. So until now we have coverage for unit tests, which is nice, and we did a lot of unit tests. And recently we started to invest more in end-to-end tests and add unit tests only for the edge cases or for the little features. But new systems actually a lot of our application is covered by end-to-end tests, and we don't really have a way to measure it. We don't have a way to say I don't test some route or I don't test some controller because you're not going to see it in coverage report anyway. So I don't know how to do it. It's a nice research and see how to add it to end-to-end tests. Someone want to take it? Okay. Nice. Yeah, go ahead. Oops. I found the name of the girl. What? Okay. So next thing is nothing to do, there are minutes. Optimize grant start watch linear times. So we're really worried about grant being super slow. So it takes a lot of time to start it, and when you save some file, it takes a lot of time until the test run again. So I'll add Swissa toolkits. Didn't make any progress. We'll add 0. Does someone want to take it? Because this is actually one of the most important tasks we have in the world.
Actually, I know that Yakut is from the world, they wanted to do something like that. Maybe you should
Really started?
I don't know, he started, and I remember one time I visited him, and he said he wanted to do it. I remember he was excited. Okay. Excited. Maybe we should ping him.
Okay.
If he wants to do it.
Can you explain again what do you want to optimize? The start time?
You want to know two things. One is the start time, you want to start faster, and second is the watch time. So when you change something, you want immediately to get feedback that you really test testing, or immediately to see the application reloaded in the browser. And currently, if you create a new project, and the project with like one controller, it's pretty fast. You do things and start really fast, but if you take some site settings, contacts, it takes forever.
Like, can you give an idea of what can change it? How can it, isn't it something built in grants?
The idea is that we need to find the places we need to optimize. So the first thing is that we need to actually look at the timings and see each plugin, how much time does it take. We have a grant time plugin that helps measure things. And then we can see if something is the bottleneck, try to solve it.
Or remove it? You can solve it or just remove it?
Maybe it's not necessary. Maybe we can think about a way to not to use it.
Okay.
Maybe there's people that also got into this situation and solved it already. I think that
It sounds like sometimes you reverse it as well. So when you do a new task, it will constantly be done. I think that was done on the previous task as well. So it takes again random time, running time.
Does it also include the SAS compilation time?
sorry.
Does it also include SAS compilation time?
If you change the size in SAS, then SAS is compiled. Currently,
Yeah, but because it's implemented with Ruby, I think it's really slow. It's an alternative option.
I think that the way is to prove it, to see that with runtime, to see that SAS calculation is something that takes a lot of time. And then we can look at the solution like use node SAS.
Yeah, maybe we should move it to another task, something specific.
The task is research. Find the bottlenecks, and then when we know the bottlenecks, then we can open a task for solving them. Okay, so no one wants to do it?
Ayal said you will think.
I will put this in equities. I will talk with him and see what.
Okay, so there's a task here that Nick has to for himself. We want to, the bar components, we want them to include both the SAS files and the CSS files, because many times we have bar components that we want other people to import those SAS, and not just use them in the CSS. Phil is not here, but he wanted to move to Jasmine 2.2. Does anybody want to take it? Just the idea is that Jasmine 2.2 broke some things in the API, so we need to find a way to build some bridge to support the new API using some backward compatibility library, and then once we move to Jasmine 2.2, start migrating projects slowly into the new API. I put a few on it because it was interested in it. Okay, getting started here, guys. Igal, right?
Yeah.
You want to say something about it? Because I don't know what it is.
This was because we have many TPAs starting the last year. Wanted to create some getting started guide. What we need to ask the system, how we configure stuff, etc.
Do you think it's a different getting started guide from the regular Xangular application?
Maybe it can be added there. Maybe it's something extra. We have issues that are specific to TPS.
So let's say this. I will continue with the progress on the nothing to code repository. And when in advanced stages, we can think about how to add the section about TPS. Okay, error notification. This is about. There are a couple of issues about weak styles. So I'm not talking about it because we're going to do something big with the class. Sidebars. Add TypeScript to end-to-end tests. So currently end-to-end tests are everything in JavaScript because we don't compile the JavaScript to JavaScript node code. Does anyone want to take it?
Let's go to the grand task, right?
Hopefully. There's this thing about requiring into because you have a node code, then you have some page objects which write in TypeScript, and then you want you have a test that you write in TypeScript, and then you want to include the page object which was also written in TypeScript. So you want to include, if you can't include the ./mypage.js, you want to include ./mypage.ts. I'm not sure how it's going to work.
One thing I think Alon will probably get very soon a lot of work with weak styles. So I prefer that if it can be solved like next Thursday, it's fine. But if it's more work, then I suggest that. I don't think.
I don't know if it's hard task or easy one. I think that's the one. So take it together, Ben and Alon. And if you don't manage to finish it next week, then we'll make it.
But I already started doing a burning project.
We have to use also.
The UX one.
Okay, better TypeScript printing. So currently we don't really have limits. For the TypeScript, it's like for testing.
We're dependent on the ESLint project, and it's a very early stage.
Yeah, but the question is if there's any way to use JSCS or JSLint to this TypeScript. I'll try.
Not. We use the TSLint on the.
Yeah, we use it with Shahar too. The question is if there is a way to use JSCS.
I did a little Googling about it, and it looks like there, because you have a totally different type.
Let's leave it open for now. Source maps. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, we wanted the source maps to unified files. Something good for Reagan that are currently trying. It's something like New Relic, but it can also use source maps to give you locations of the exceptions. So using source maps give us much better traces.
This is already in progress.
Yeah.
Who's on it? Gil?
Yeah.
I think currently Guy is assigned.
Yeah.
I think you can't move it if it's assigned to me.
I don't know how, but okay, let's just run over the stuff that are in progress. I did.
Yeah.
Okay, so put it in progress. ES6 module is also good.
Yeah. We are talking about System.js.
Yeah. Nice. Better plans, the reporting is Legan. Possibly.
Yeah.
What do you report the client side errors? It's not New Relic.
Currently, we do to both, and we check the
BI and New Relic.
New Relic and Reagan. It's something new. Given
The last two are also source maps. Source maps for
yeah, the SAS started,
and source maps for TypeScript.
so the SAS also started.
Okay, so was there Maria?
Yeah.
So please put in progress. And also Guy. Okay, cool.
Shahar.
Almost everything.
Before we continue, just something I forgot to update. Next week, we're meeting in Bitan 26. I'll send an update. Cinnamon, it's a beautiful new place that we renovated. Bitan 26 is near Japanica. If you walk on the main street, you know, Japanica is to the left if you come from Wix. It will be on the right, like big glass thing. And we will also move the meeting to morning, so we will start. I need to set it the exact time, but we have the place until noon, until 1. Then after 1, we will reserve probably the studio here, the top part, and we can work on Git tasks together. So everyone who has Jira issues and is not like doesn't have something urgent in the company is strongly invited or recommended to join and to work together. I will send an update during the week once close of the calendar stuff.
So a few minutes about cat experiments, and then we'll see.
It's not coming?
Yeah, it's coming. Okay, so about cancer experiments, probably most of you already saw the email. The thing is that we had a really inconvenient situation where we had to add experiments into server code, and we call it server code in order to test something which is totally client-side, kind of buttons and stuff like that. We wanted to make it really easier for client-side developers to define experiments. So what we actually did is close some windows. Is we edit it into our stack.
Can you zoom?
You see? Yeah, okay. So if I'm in some project like newsfeed statics, I can do with Angular experiment, and then I can say what experiment I want to create. Okay, so the convention is that we name the experiments like this: specs.company.name. Okay, so for example, specs.cx.
Why is specs not part of the generator?
Sorry?
Why not have the specs part of the generator?
The prefix part, we can make it. I didn't want to force the convention on people because some people just want to say my experiment. Which is also fine. It's just not in the convention.
Yeah, everything in Petri specs something, right?
So, the reason that everything in Petri specs something is because Petri goes over server code and looks for stuff that starts with specs and then it adds them. So now that you add experiments from the client side, you don't have to start with specs. You can do whatever you want and name it however you want.
You think we should have a different suffix just because it's a...
I'm not sure. That's why I didn't force it.
Okay.
So the convention is specs, 6 is consumer expenses, company name, and some experiments. And the convention also says that you have to capitalize like class name. So if I do this, then you're always going to ask me some questions. You're asking me, okay, what is your email? Because we need the email of the one of the experiments. So because I entered my email the last time I created, then it remembers that the Shahar 8 weeks. And I can say that I'm 8 weeks, for example, or just press enter. Then I would get the default. And they ask me for the scope name. This is the scope name of the experiment. So scope name is pretty important because the way it works is that you give all of your experiments the same scope name, and then when the server is rendering your page, it is going to ask Petri, give me all of the experiment values in this scope name, and it puts the JSON inside the velocity model. So it's really important that you choose a scope name for all of your experiments in some application and stick with it.
We currently have scope names, right?
Today in the server.
Yeah,
so
we need
use the same name.
same.
Use the same name. So my account in our example, this is the name we used before this, and so we quickly. Let's go. So after I choose the scope name, I should choose a scope type. Okay, so we have currently 2 scope types. Either the scope is for logged-in users or it's for all users, including anonymous entity. So this depends on your application, and you keep doing whatever you did until now. Okay, so in my account, we always use logged-in users because you can't build my account if you're not logged in.
Anonymous users experiments is something really new.
It was there for a while.
Are you sure?
Anonymous?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
It was there from the start. Okay, so I'm choosing only logged-in users because this is what I'm interested in. And that's it, the experiment is created. So it tells me, actually what was created is this JSON file. We can type it, see what's inside. Okay, so this is the contents of the JSON file. So truth is that you don't have to use your Angular in order to create, you can just create this JSON file on your own, but it's really easier to do it from one time. And it says all the stuff you selected. If, for example, if you notice that your Angular didn't ask you for the test groups, it didn't ask you if you want a false true, you just put it in. So this is because like 99% of the experiments are false true. And if you want something else, just don't say anything, open the JSON, add whatever you want, and push it. So what actually happens in production? This file is actually a new file in our Git. I can add it to the Git, and I need to add it to the Git, and I need to push it. When the project is built, actually all of you can see that these files inside the app/Petri experiments. Okay, so app/Petri experiments. Okay. I currently have 2 experiments here. NGG experiment example, which I created before the meeting, and some experiment. And when I do grant build, maybe I'll wait for, I'm not going to wait for it. So when I do run build, we actually put all of the JSONs inside one JSON. It's not really important there, but it's nice to know. We put all of the JSONs inside one JSON, which is called the Petri experiments JSON, inside the list folder. This is what is deployed to production. So when you deploy your artifact to production, the build process already took care of putting all of your experiments inside one JSON, which is really important because this JSON is going to define all of the experiments in production. But you don't have to worry about it because it happens automatically inside the build. And when you deploy, there's a server which is called specs feeder, which Igal still wrote. And what it does, it just goes into a new project that was just deployed. Let's say I deployed newsfeed, and it has a hook, it knows that this was deployed. It's going to go to the folder of the newsfeed, look for the Petri experiments JSON, and just go over the stuff that are written there, and define those experiments in Petri.
The new experiments?
It defines a new experiment, and if something was already there, then it updates it.
And deleting
Okay, so you don't delete from you're not able to delete experiments in Petri at all. If you want to delete something, you just need to first you need to have the reason because there's no good reason to delete something.
delete experiment?
Okay, you can go to Guinea and terminate it. Yeah, but you don't need to delete it from existence. Even specs that were terminated are still there. They're just in terminate states. You can go to Guinea and you will see them. And
You're talking about specs, not experiments.
Yeah.
Specs. Two different things.
If you want to delete something, you can terminate the experiment. You don't need to delete the spec.
But you can delete the file. You don't need it anymore.
You can delete it. You can take
still
whatever you want, and it doesn't really do anything.
So now that I'm happy with the experiment and I want it open to 100%, so I need to go to Petri to...
You do the same thing you would do in the server.
So how
You go to Petri, you terminate the experiment, you go to your server code and delete the class. And same thing here, you go to Petri, you terminate the experiment, and you go to your client code and delete the JSON file. Okay, it's the exact same behavior. And experiments from that you add or that you update are just commands to add new specs to Petri, or edit new specs to Petri. Okay, so specs feeder is going to do this automatically. It's going to find out every time that you are going to deploy something to production. And it's going to find out every time you want checks on some storage environment, but it's not ready yet. The automatic part. So you need to tell it to do it. Okay, so if you deploy something to production, or you need checks, you need to run a command that says, specs feeder, please go over my experiments and update Petri. Okay, so currently it's manually. Whenever it finishes the developing the automation part, you just don't have to do anything. Just you need to deploy and test it.
Why would it be possible to connectivity with Petri UI an option to add manually spec?
Because the designers of Petri didn't want it to be possible. So theoretically, we could have said, okay, if you want to create a new experiment, just go to Petri, new spec. You can just go to Petri, create a new spec, and that's it. But when Petri was designed, it was designed in the thinking of you don't want to be able to create some spec and then copy its value and put it inside your code. Well, they wanted it to be more
clarity from the developer.
the developer defines it?
Create some class and then use this class, and then you can't make a mistake because you are using a class that you defined inside your code. And similarly, we want this to happen in times. Okay, so you create some experiments, and then we are going to have some variable. This is going to actually contain the name of this experiment. We're going to have constant for it. So currently it's still work in progress. If you go to
where it creates a file per experiment?
It creates a file, a JSON file for experiments, and then
where
the
are these?
output of the build is to spec. Spec, yeah. I'm constantly mixing them.
Okay.
So you create a JSON for each spec, And then when you build your project, you get two products. Okay? One, which I already talked about, is the JSON that specs feeder is going to go over.
Do you have examples of these files? Do you have examples?
The spec feeder is just a concat of, let's see if there is something. It's the same format, just the concat of the JSON files. I know that.
Why do you need the email for the experiment?
Because when you look in Petri, you want to see who is the owner of this feature. So if it breaks things, you need to scale it. Someone needs responsibility.
Someone has to explain that. Didn't you see KL?
Yeah, for the conversations. Components.
Need it.
List. Okay. So you can see that inside this folder, I have two new files. Okay, Petri experiment.js and Petri experiment.json. So Petri experiment.json is what specs feeder is going to go over. So let's look at it. It's just a concat of all of the experiments. Okay, so if I have, you see that you have a spec name and the description. If I have three specs, then it's going to have three values, three keys. The second file, which is currently not used, but we're going to use it in the future, is Petri experiments.js. Okay? So Petri experiments.js is actually declaring constants. You have a constant for the scope name and a constant for the experiment name. So the idea is that in the future, you won't say is experiment enabled and give it a string. You will say is experiment enabled and give it experiments.test experiment generator, something like this. And then we will give a little more similarly to what they are doing in the server, and we will not be able to make mistakes when using experiments enabler. But I will talk to you about it when this will be done.
Actually,
you can use it.
Maybe a good idea to enforce it if you're using TypeScript is to create an interface for that, the dynamic interface that will fail in compilation.
This is still work in progress, and I'm going to find some way that it will be really easy to write these experiment enabled, open braces, and then we will get the list of experiments that you have in your project. So this is the idea about this. And about the command, so I told you that specs feeder is going to do it automatically in the future. Currently, we need to tell it to do it. So before the meeting, I added some experiments. I added the NGG experiment example, and I pushed it and I checked on pizza. I think that I checked on pizza.
So if you didn't do it, the manual thing to you have a command line to it, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
So if you didn't, but you checked it and the experiment is not there.
Yeah.
Only after the command.
Mm-hmm. So your code thinks it's off.
So you can't really create an experiment that is 100% false. But if you create an experiment, and you want to start it with 100% false.
Experiments. Whenever you edit some spec, it's not going to be defined as experiment until you will go to limping and define it. Anyway.
Yeah, so
the purpose of running the command line is for you to be able to go to limping and see your experiment in your spec in the list of the experiments.
So only then you will.
And then you will be able to do the experiment. That's the way that it works. So I deployed with newsfeed version 1.2.3.0. And then if everything goes fine, I can go run the command update specs. And it tells me you need to give me the version number and you need to give me the staging if it is staging. And I'm saying update specs 1, 2, 3, 3 minus staging pizza. Okay, so if I don't see anything staging, it's going to be production. Oh, but it doesn't do anything. I'm not scared of doing the production. Crazy. So
Give it a minute.
It just sync the specs, right?
sorry,
It
just sync the specs. Just make sure that the specs you write in your JSON.
We still need to open the experiment to find.
You still need to
Okay.
go through it. So I run it, and all it says is just, okay, those are the specs that you have. I sync them. So did anyone deploy?
Isn't this what the sync button is doing? Fine. So the chips?
Sorry?
In chips you have the sync specs.
In chips, I have the sync specs. Currently, the sync specs button is not connected to the script.
Not this.
So this is the thing that Eagle needs to solve. It needs the sync specs to be connected to it, and needs it to work automatically in production. Okay, so I just ran the command, and all it did is sync the specs and list the stuff that I synced. If I do it again when I already synced it, then it's going to say job already exists. Okay, it's not a really informative error, but don't be scared when you see it. It just means that you already synced those specs. And that's it. That's it. You need to remember that the specs until Eagle will solve it.
Let's have 5 minutes break, then we start with Mishko.